In today's video, we're taking a look at how to upgrade your lead acid battery to a lithium iron phosphate battery in your solar system. Easy and simple. It's so easy, anyone could do everything that we use on the video. We're gonna leave a link on the description. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe. That does help us out a lot. Thank you. So you woke up today and upgrading is in your mind. You want to go from half using your battery to 80, 90, or sometimes even 100%. Don't worry, here at the StatUpBox team, we've got your back. 2 blocks away, but a back is a back. And on this video, we're gonna show how to set your charge controller. We're gonna use the Rover from Renogy, which is a MPPT. We're also going to use a Renogy PWM charge controller, and as well we're going to show on a Victron MPPT charge controller how to adjust your settings. And in this case, we're using the eco-worthy 12 volt 280 amp hour battery that, according to the manufacturer, it has 6,000 plus deep cycles, a total of 3,584 watt hours of energy. And this particular one is not the Bluetooth one. In the box we have removable screw terminals, we have barbecue paper, your owner's manual, information card, and warranty, as well as some terminal covers, which is good because the last thing you want on a clear sunny day, especially when upgrading your system, is to die. And the first thing that we want to do for this installation is charge up our battery. And the reason for this is because we have a battery shunt or battery monitor, and you can go about 2 ways of doing this. You can either discharge your battery to 0 or charge it to 100%. And a pro tip, you do want to make sure that your battery charger handles the same voltage as your battery. So if you have a 12 volt battery, you want to get a 12 volt battery charger or adjustable charger to the voltage you have. Next, you want to make sure that your battery charger does support lithium iron phosphate batteries, because not all chargers do support lithium battery. And the last thing you want on upgrading day is to downgrade and go from a good battery to a DOA. In this particular case, we're using the Victron Energy Blue Smart IP22 Smart Battery Charger for 12 volt batteries with a charging maximum of 30 amps. You can connect via Bluetooth using the Victron app and see your charging status and information or history. This charger accepts a maximum of 6 gauge wire, which is not included in the kit, and you can choose to charge at 30 amps or 15 amps, which according to the manufacturer would be night mode, where the fans sound less, and it would stay in this mode for 8 hours at a time. We did notice that charging at 30 amps, it does get hotter than other chargers. For that reason, we chose to keep it at 15 amps, even though that it took a little bit more to charge. And according to the manufacturer, the charger getting a bit hot is normal. First, you want to connect the wires to the battery and then connect your charger to the outlet. We're going to place our charger right on top of the battery just for video demonstration purposes, but once we show the information, we'll move it away from on top of the battery. Now, depending on if you chose this charger or a different charger, the technique will be the same. You want to go on your mode dial or select dial on your battery charger and go from normal battery, or whichever type it shows on your particular charger, to lithium ion battery. Or in some chargers it would say LIFEPO, or you might just have a charger that it is only for lithium batteries and you don't have to change anything. If you're using this particular battery charger, you can always go on the app, the Victron app, and verify the status of your charge or even charge information. It's going to ask you to pair. The pairing code is 6 zeros in a row, and just like we said before, we're going to place ours instead of 30 amp charge to 50 amp charge, and that's going to keep the system cool, the charger. And according to our experience on electrical devices, a cool electronic will last longer. And now comes the hardest part of the whole video, and that is waiting. But meanwhile we wait, we can start getting our system ready to receive the new battery. First, we're going to go ahead by turning off our inverter. If you have a switch that provides energy to your inverter, we want to go ahead and turn that to off. Next, we want to turn off our breaker for our solar panels. If you don't have a breaker, you can always cover your solar panels. And lastly, we want to turn off our switch that supplies energy from the battery to our charge controller. If in your case your charge controller controller and battery have a battery temperature sensor, we want to go ahead and remove that. And remember, this is something that you want to verify with your barbecue paper, I mean your owner's manual, if you need to install a temperature sensor when installing a lithium battery. Some charge controllers for lithium battery, like the Rover, says not to install the temperature sensor. In other charge controllers, you do have to install it, but on the battery terminal and not on the battery itself. But some food for thought if you think about placing the battery temperature sensor on the battery housing in lithium batteries. That cover is just a cover. Once the temperature is felt throughout that cover, it might be too late. Now we're going to start removing our wires from our battery. We're going to start with our negative terminal and then repeat the process for our positive wire. And in this case, we're removing our shunt wire, our charge control wire, and our inverter wire. Always remember, as a good rule of thumb, you don't want any wires to touch, because remember, the last thing you want on a clear sunny day is to die, especially on upgrading day, or even worse, having a barbecue smell on non-barbecue day, and go from adding a battery to replacing your whole system. So if you can cover your wires, that's always a good extra precautionary step. And now you've done it. You broke your system. No, you didn't. You just don't have power right now. We can go ahead and remove the old battery to make way for our new battery. In this particular charger, we have 6 stages. We have the test stage, which is once you connect the charger, it does its analysis of the battery state. We have the bulk charge, which is going to charge at the maximum charge current or the designated current that you chose, like we did, 15 amps. We have the absorption charge, where the battery is charged at the configured absorption voltage, with the charge current slowly decreasing as the battery approaches full charge. So basically the end stage. We have the float stage, where the battery voltage is maintained at the configured float voltage to prevent discharge. And lastly, the storage. The battery voltage is maintained at the configured storage voltage, which is slightly reduced compared to the float voltage to minimize gassing and extend battery life. So basically, once on float mode or storage mode, your battery is charged. So that means we're ready to disconnect this charger from the outlet and then remove our wires. Now that the battery is charged, we can go ahead and take it to its final resting place. And one thing you notice right away, that the lithium batteries are way lighter than the lead acid batteries. So our previous battery was a Renogy AGM 12 volt 100 amp hour battery, which weighs 63.9 pounds or 28.98 kilograms, and our lithium battery, which is 280 amp hours, almost triple, only weighs 61.7 pounds or 27.98 kilograms, which is almost 2 pounds lighter. So that is another plus. We're going to start by installing our negative wire first, and remember, a pro tip, you don't want to over tighten. The last thing you want is to break your system before even using it. We can go ahead to our positive wire next, and always remember the ancient rule passed down generation to generation of lefty loosey, righty tighty. We like starting by hand and ending with our wrench. And in this case, we're going to install all of our positive wire, which is our inverter wire, our charge control wire, and our shunt wire. We're going to place our terminal covers provided with the battery. And now you've done it, grasshopper. You installed a battery for a second time. If you have a switch or breaker, we want to go ahead and turn that on to give power to our charge controller. And remember, you always want to turn on your charge controller first before turning on the breaker of any other devices or circuits. For the Rover, we're going to go ahead and press our right arrow button and hold it for a few seconds until it goes to the next menu, around 3 seconds, which is going to take us to our battery type. And then using our up or down arrow, we're going to choose the Li for lithium iron phosphate battery. And once selected, we press and hold our right arrow button once again until it comes out the menu. And that would mean that it's saved now. If using the Renogy PWM, you want to hold the selector gray button until the battery type LED light flashes. Then you let go of the button and then press it on individual touches until you get to the correct color. Let's say green for sealed battery, orange for gel battery, red for flooded, and blue for lithium battery. So that means we want to leave it on the blue, then we just leave it there and would automatically save to that selection. But let's say you're using a Vic Victron MPPT smart charger, you want to go on the Victron app, select your charge controller. Once inside, you're going to see a gearbox at the top. Then we're going to press on battery. Then we want to press on battery preset. Then we want to press on edit preset, and then we should be able to see the lithium option, and we choose that one. Once we go out the menu, it would save on that option. And now you've done it for a second time. Your charge controller is configured. But let's say you have a battery shunt or battery monitor. In this case, we're using the Renogy 500 amp battery monitor shunt. What we first want to do is reset the system. So for that, we're going to hold the down arrow for a few seconds until our battery changes to 0. But if in your case, your battery is starting from a discharge, then you want to do the opposite. You want to start with the up button and then finish with the down button. Now we're going to hold the up button for a few seconds until it turns to 100. If your particular battery is going to be the same amp hours, let's say 100, and you're changing to a lithium battery of 100, then you're done. But if your amp hour changes, then we want to enter the menu by holding the OK button until we enter setting mode. Then on the top, we're going to go to amp hours and change it to our new amp hours. In our case, we're going to go from 100 to 280. We press our OK button, and with our up and down arrow, we change the numbers. We press OK to move to the next digit. If you had to change your amp hours, you're going to notice that in your main screen, you're not going to have 100% again. So that means we would have to do step 1 again. We're going to press down for 0 and then press up for 100%. And remember, you also want to change the parameters on the settings on your battery monitor according to the voltages provided by your lithium battery manufacturer. And now you've done it, Grasshopper. You went from 50% usability to almost 100. We can go ahead and turn on our breaker for our solar panels or remove the cover, and we can turn on our switch for our inverter and turn on our inverter. Don't forget, if you liked the video, please give us a thumbs up. That really helps. If you have any questions, place them in the comment section below. Either someone on the StatUpBox team or someone on the YouTube community can help you out with an answer. Don't forget to subscribe, follow us on social media. Thank you for watching, and here's a link to our latest video.